The views and opinions on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resorts, ownership, or management. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back to It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're here again with Tony Tauber on his next episode here at the Westgate Resort, Las Vegas, in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the International Showroom, in the basement where Elvis Presley's dressing room, in Elvis Presley's dressing room. Anyways, Tony, let's see. We got to you were just about wrapping up here. You were still here when Westgate bought the place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
through the sale of that, yeah.
Yeah, you were here through the sale of that and through some of that stuff that was going on. And then you decided to go down to Tropicana and give that a try for a little while.
Yeah, well, Rock Vault was here, and then that's when ownership changed while Rock Vault was here, and then they were ushered out and went down to Tropicana. And at the time, with the management change and the way things were proceeding, I wasn't sure if there would be employment for me at that point moving on. So I had an offer from gentleman, Fred Harmon, who was the GM down at Tropicana. And he made me an offer, and I thought, okay, I'd like to still be employed for a short time. So I took the offer there and started in. And Fred was a heck of a nice guy. We had a great working relationship. And 2 months after I take the job, Penn Gaming buys Tropicana, and all senior management is gone. And now I'm basically out on a limb, folks I don't know, and quite a bit had changed there. We had a magic show that was running. Rock Vault was running down at Tropicana, and that was the evening show, and there was a daytime show with a magician that was there, and they wound up with some personnel problems with him, and he was escorted out. So now we were down to only Rock Vault, and the labor nut was such that it would work to support two shows running 6 days a week or 5 days a week, depending. At that point, I think we were still at 6 days a week running Rock Vault and a magic show. So they brought in a sister show to replace the magic show. That didn't work, and they spent an awful lot of money on production once again, another one of those nightmares. It never would pencil out. So the show opened and ran a short time, and then that was the end of that. Yeah. So career-wise, I reached the age of, I made it to 70 while I was there. So I was there 2 full years, and when I turned 70, I said to my wife, Jewel, I said, you know what, it's enough. It's, I don't need any more stressors. We've done it. I've been very lucky, and, be happy to, retire and move on. And we wanted to head, our families are all back east. It was a mixed marriage. Jewel is from New Jersey. I'm from Pennsylvania. So we decided our one grandson worked here at a rare earth mineral mine down at Mountain Pass. When he graduated school, he got a job as a chemist, and he lived with us for a couple of years and then went out on his own. And the mine closed because the Chinese underbid the neodymium and some of those products, so they couldn't afford to stay open. It was a German company, so they closed it. And he did a job search and became a chemist at it's another open pit mining area, and it's a phosphate mine, and it is 1/3 of the country's fertilizer is pulled out of the ground there. They remove, wow. It's an incredible setup.
Where at?
It's in Aurora, North Carolina, right along the coast. Back in the day, prehistoric days, it was all ocean, the coast.
Yeah.
So if you go 40 foot down, they have these gigantic dredges. You can put a dump truck into the size of this open dredge, and they remove 30 to 40 foot of topsoil, remove it, move it aside, and then go in and get, it's called marl. It is a prehistoric rock that has shells in it. It has gigantic shark's teeth,
Wow.
all fossilized material. They remove it, take it, and with acids, they break it up, and they turn it into this pulp that becomes fertilizer.
Who comes up with these things?
Well,
Who
this has
comes
been
up
running-
with these? I
there-
mean, it's just
There is one in the south, and the product now, there are 2 railroad car shipments a day of this phosphate. That's the byproduct. There's a phosphate and an acid, and I forget the acid's name that is a byproduct also. But the phosphate goes on barges down the river in North Carolina, then goes out to the ocean and comes back into a bay and is brought to another processing center that does the finalization, put on gigantic barges, and it goes down around outside of Florida and winds up in Texas, where it is processed, and the whole Midwest is supplied with fertilizer. And
oh my gosh.
and it's we're finding out because my wife was a boater and we joined a boat club. It's the Coast Guard's responsibility to guard these shipments. So the Coast Guard guards, especially since 9/11, they guard these shipments that come down and go outside and back around. And I believe 2/3 of the product is moved by barge and 1/3 is by railroad train. So it comes right. We live in this little town. It's on the inner banks in North Carolina. You have the outer banks. They're always hit by hurricanes. We're on the left side of that.
Okay.
It's a little town called New Bern, North Carolina. And when the British occupied the U.S., this was the capital of North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, and the reason it was called New Bern because it was originally founded by the Swiss, and in Bern, Switzerland, there's a bridge where there are bears that people feed these wild bears. So when the British took over North Carolina, they used the pine tar to build their ships. So they would forest all the pine, use that for building, and the pine resin was used in shipbuilding, and that was all shipped over to England. So it was pretty incredible. And then the revolution, then the U.S. took over, then the capital was moved from New Bern to Raleigh. So that's New Bern's history.
How about that?
Small little town, but the grandson was working at this phosphate mine, and now he's moved into helping his father in the pharma industry. Okay. But it's this is 24/7. They mine this phosphate, and when they get all the product out, now they replace the soil, replant it. You'd never tell. You see open areas are 30, 40 foot. They're the famous Carolina pines. They grow up into perfect 2x4s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand how they'd have to guard that phosphate because
yeah.
phosphate is a bomb. Basically,
Yeah.
you mix it with fuel,
Yep.
Diesel, gasoline, whatever like that, then you have a huge bomb. I mean,
Well,
that's what took down Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Phosphate and
Yeah.
boom. Yeah, I can see how they want to guard that. Yeah.
So we're really fortunate. So when we decided to move back east, we figured neither of us wanted to be up in the colder weather of the Northeast. In North Carolina, it's not the Florida weather where you have the heat and humidity all year. We have it the worst. Wherever you live, you have 2 bad months of something, cold,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Well, our July and August, when it's 90, when it reaches 90 in North Carolina, it's the equivalent of 117 here in Vegas. Every day, every day is a 2-shower day in North Carolina,
Yeah.
July and August. It's just the way it is.
Wow.
And as far as what we do, my uncle retired in North Carolina. He was a professor, and he talking with him, he said, "Do you want to check with the hospitals? There's a lot of volunteer work." So I did, and our hospital, I think it's a 400-bed hospital, but it's ranked like number 1 for customer care on
nice.
all North Carolina. They're big on customer care, and now we have a new state-of-the-art cancer center, which is really incredible. The 3 cancer specialists that they brought in, and their offices are right on the first floor, ground floor of this facility, and then you go from testing procedures and all up to you come in and all your care, you never go anywhere else. You come in and see this physician and your care is done right in this facility. You know, the chemo treatments, all of those things and all. It's a state-of-the-art facility. And they had 3 benefactors that donated the funds to build this thing. And it's what I do. I'm in there one day a week. And I also, besides transporting people for tests and when they're leaving the hospital, get them out of the room into the car, or get them from the X-ray to MRIs, CT scans, things like that. There was a gentleman that retired, and he was their quote candy man. So some of the one lady that's in charge of the volunteers asked if I would do it. So I've taken it over, and I go to all the nurses' stations, and it's a 2.5 hour jaunt, and I hit there's 5 floors, and go to every nurse's station, and we sell candy bar, all types of candy, you name it. It's a whole cart, and it's red and white striped, and I have a red top hat and a red bow tie, and I go around, and the nurses love it. We sell a candy bar to them for $1 a piece. You can't get a candy bar anywhere for that.
No.
And they love it. And
Yeah.
it's built camaraderie, because the nurses, initially when I went around, if they weren't used to the other gentleman that was there, they said, "What is it? The hospital trying to make profit on our employees?" And then they realized that this was a great deal. The same nurses that complained, now they're the ones that say, "It's your turn this week." And they have a whole mark on the calendar. When he comes around next week, it's your turn. And it's kind of a fun thing. And
Good.
they enjoy it. And, what they do is incredible. I mean, all they do, I wouldn't want a job like that. All they see is sick people. I mean, it just breaks up a little highlight. And especially in the cancer center, when you see what those people do, the different treatments and all that they provide, and the technologies, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kind of rewarding.
And I watch those people, like my dad was in the nursing home for 6 months, rehab and nursing and going downhill quickly. And it's, that'd be a hard job every day, because, you're going to lose somebody once a week, once every couple of weeks, or, someone in that building or sooner, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a very pleasant job, but it's necessary.
Those folks that do it. So for me, it's kind of rewarding. And I had been a cancer survivor myself, so it's kind of like being able to pay it back a little bit, But still, just to do it and see, these folks doing that and seeing the people they see all the time, it's kind of interesting. They all look forward to it. It's fun. So that occupies one day of mine a week, and then we joined a boat club because my wife was a boater all of her life. She was in power boats, sailboats, in Eastern Shore of Maryland, and sailing what they say out front, out in the Atlantic, when you leave the bays and rivers. COVID hit, and a lot of things changed, and we were much older, so we never did buy a power boat or a trawler and do any traveling that way. But we're still members of the club, made a lot of friends, and now I'm their quote AV guy.
Why not?
And I've done a few shows in town. I did 3 shows. They have the oldest theater in North Carolina there in New Bern, because it was built by the British back in the day. It's still a hemp house. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Tiny little, it seats 240. That's it.
Wow.
Tiny little, pretty amazing. It's got, I think, 18 sets in there. Pretty wild. Done some shows there. And that was all in community theater. And that was enough for me. It was, I thought, okay, I get more out of doing things at the hospital than doing the community theater. So I kind of called that quits.
Yeah, after so many years of doing it, I'll give advice and stuff, but I don't want to do any part of any other shows, or I'll come over and check out what you have and make suggestions. But doing shows, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I haven't done any shows since I think September of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I said I was done, I was done.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest thing we'll do now, I bought a bunch of small little LED pars, and we take those and, we have different events at the boat club, and I'll set those up and light the walls or light whatever, and
That's nice,
just
though.
on little floor mounts and things like that. And that's kind of fun. And the Christmas decorations now, that's all. We go full tilt with that.
Let a lighting guy have a bunch of decorations, and he's going to go crazy on it.
And that we do. Oh, it's just gone wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always like, my wife always complains, you don't do any lighting, for Christmas. Well, if I do it, that's going to be like no one's ever seen before, because I'll come down here and see, Mark Brolding and say, give me a package.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Robotic lights, it's going to go crazy. Say, there you go. So you guys put some lights on your house. I'll show you how you can actually do it if you, go crazy. But, it's... Yeah, so we got about 10 minutes here left, Tony. What would you like to tell us about your career? I mean, you've obviously had a great career.
Really, really, really blessed. And it's the people you meet too, and it's the networking, and it's amazing who you run into. Just incredible. Like one of my techs that I worked with at Playboy, we actually, when the Kutash show came in, they purchased the first, we had 40 of the first original VL1s that were out on tour. And he had them, well, as you know, they had them in Vegas as well. You had the VLs there. But Kutash bought some additional ones, and when we did the show at the Playboy, we had to keep those up, and that was our job, just to keep those running. So was myself, and I had 3 assistants, and we had Verilight Hospital. We had room service carts that we took from room service and put them into show business. We had the Playboy bunny because it was still Playboy, and we had Playboy stickers. We spray painted bunnies on the side of the room service carts with the sides down and put them into show business. And we take the VLs up to the electric room, constantly rewiring wire harnesses on those things. They just tear themselves up. But as it turns out, for 2 of our techs, as a gentleman, Rob and Rob Morgenstein and Harry Sangmeister, Harry he is still a VL employee, and he has done, every year does the Tony Awards, would do the Super Bowls, and he had done the lighting at La Rev. He was a Verilight programmer at La Rev. So I got to sit in with him, and they had to document all the Verilight positions. They wanted photographic documentation of the home spaces. So I took some days away from when I was employed here, believe it or not. I got some time away and went over there, and I would photograph the starting position for whatever series of Verilight, and they would take the whole ring down and replace it with a whole new ring of upgraded, relamped and reteched lights. That's the way they did it at that place. Incredible budget they had for that. So we'd photograph it and we'd hang them on the pipe. Then when they would get hung, they would give them a home position and use the photograph to document where the light itself would start off.
Okay.
And that was Jules and Peggy did the lighting for that show. So, and once again, through this gentleman that I met that went to school with Jules, and he remembered this guy, Jim Mosier. It was pretty incredible seeing Jules again after all those years. It was many years. We're talking 70s to 2010, I believe, something like that.
And the cool part about that is it's like you guys, in the business and stuff, it's like you never went away from each other. You just start right back up where you were, and it's the business is interesting. This is
another squint.
Yeah, another squint. There we go. Squint is a terminology for lighting guys.
Yeah.
Hum heads are audio guys, and stage lepers are carpenters. So
Pretty amazing. In fact, I had cataracts done, and we have once again, very fortunate. We had a really talented optician there. This guy does iris transplants. Yeah, they do iris transplants. Pretty incredible. It's I forget how many hour operation, and he travels over to Europe, does that as well. But when he replaced my cataracts, he said normally you have like a sepia tone to the lens itself when we remove it. He said, "What did you do for a living?" He said, "You've got a mixture of green in there, and along with a sepia. It's probably from all those years of staring into par cans,
Yeah.
and doing the focus." Yeah, yeah. I only learned my last couple of years to use glacier glasses to do the focus. But prior to that, doing all the focus like for boxing setups and just any of the lights. It was all the quartz lights with their output staring into pars and ACLs. Amazing.
And now the lights they have are so bright. I mean, like the BMFLs and stuff are just,
They're amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally blind you, melt the stage. They're so
Yeah.
bright they seem. So it's a, oops. Well, anything real quick here that you want to say about it? Anything else? Because we're about to wrap this up, Tony, and I don't want you to go,
Well,
I wish I had a said, or something like that.
Well, for your listeners, I can't pay enough positive comments about Craig and his work ethic and the help that he helped me while I was employed here. I mean, he's a heck of a nice guy, not a bragger, just low key, gets the job done. I mean, he knows a lot of the folks that we both know in the industry. Sometimes you'll get folks, they think they're next to God, with what they do. And it's, he's taken the ego out of it and just gets the job done and made my life easy. I know that. And a lot of other folks as well. So I've got to thank you.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Your friendship and your being my boss was 10 years of literally pleasure having you be my boss, and like I joked before, as long as I let you be my boss.
There you go. Exactly. And I'm glad I listened to Eric, I'll tell you. Yeah. No, it was great.
Well, Eric, learned early on the stuff, and he could never figure out how we did some of the stuff, in here, and how I was able to figure out how to make it all work. And it's like, I don't know, I was born in the business, I don't know what to tell you about this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Since I was 5 years old, I've been doing this stuff. So to me, it was like, this is just what you did. I don't know. I never knew how. People always said, how do you figure this out? I don't know. I've been doing it since I was a little kid.
That becomes natural for you.
I've been shown by everybody since I was 5 years old, literally since I was 5 years old, how to do this stuff. So I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? Yeah. I'm a magician? I'm not. I just, been around it forever. So but thank you, Tony, for coming. Thanks for coming in. I am so glad you came in here. I know it was difficult circumstances. You're seeing friends that are having some health issues and stuff, but at the same time, you made time to come in here and have a little chat with me on this project. And it's trying to hold some of the entertainment, to tell people how things work. And it's been a great little project, and it's kept me out of trouble for the last year plus on being retired. So.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's timing. Even that, life-wise, timing. I make the phone call, and you learned the day before that you were able to do this podcast. So it was just meant to be.
Yeah, I have to get approval every time I come in here, and it's only narrow windows every month. They have one Sunday available, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it just happened to line up. No, it was really cool that we got to have that happen, and
I'm glad we got to spend this time.
Yeah, just a little bit of time with you and seeing you again. It's nice having that with you. So, anyways, folks, thanks for listening. Tony, thank you again. And we're going to come back with some more interviews with more people. And but Tony is absolutely a dear friend and one of the best bosses I've ever had. And I cherish his friendship and his professionalism and all aspects of everything we've done here. And thank you, Tony.
Well, thank you. Alrighty.
Okay, folks. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode. And until then,
You're listening to It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show.